Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows. I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Welcome in, Green Bay Packer fans, to another edition of Lombardi's Bar here on the Game On Wisconsin YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have so much to talk about, and none of it is going to involve a former Green Bay Packer quarterback whatsoever. It's all about this team right here, right now, who, oh, by the way, that's right, Emma, pulled out the victory chain and slapped around some Vikings in Minnesota to kick off the new year. Does that sound familiar? Lots to talk about with that. Want to bring in these two guys here, Jimmy and Todd. Boys, how was your new year? How are we feeling? Welcome to 2024.
So Jimmy Kimmel, huh? No, sorry, I had to do it. New Year's great. It just like last year. I know you already alluded to it in the opening, but beat Vikings is to kick off the new year, and now we control our destiny. I can't wait for next week.
Does it make you feel uneasy? I'm just gonna get this right off the bat. Does it make this? Is anybody else completely nauseated by the circumstance that we are in right now?
Not nauseated. I'm anxious as hell. Like the worst part is the Bears. I know we're gonna talk to like the Bears still suck. They've been playing pretty well lately, and I think it was Nagler put it out on one of his shows he does. But like the Packers and the Bears are on the same trajectory of the offense struggling in the first half of the year, the Bears defense struggling in the first half of the year, and these last like 6-7 weeks just have completely turned it around. Have been some of the top 10 in the league. And now that's going to be the determining factor in this game Sunday. I don't trust that pause. I feel like you're debating between being a smartass or actually making a comment.
Terrible coming behind this pause.
Just based on where I've been all year, I said it a few weeks ago. Like, I've seen enough from this team. If it were anybody except the Bears, I would be no expectations, okay with either outcome going into this game. Because it's the Bears, they absolutely have to win. Yeah. Like, it absolutely, like, I don't even care that it's for the playoffs. You don't lose to them. Yeah. But the fact that it is at home, I think that, like, the Bears, not only have they been playing better, but they're also a team that has nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a dangerous spot to be up against a team that they don't care. I'm going to predict I'm going to predict one ejection. I don't know which side it's coming from. Somebody's going to get tossed on Sunday.
Jair. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, I actually don't want to play."
I'm gonna suspend myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch a ref.
You can't take the game check away if I get suspended after.
No, but they can fine him for a game check.
Yeah, and true. The thing is different than last year, because last year we're playing the Lions, who had already beaten us once before that season. Like, we had already lost to that Lions team. This year, this is a Bears team. Week 1, Jordan Love's debutante ball in Soldier Field, and they got absolutely pantsed. We pantsed them. And I don't know about anybody else. I spent a considerable amount of time on social media after that game doing a big ol' victory lap over that. And the players did too. We saw all the clips from the players. The players ran their mouths, rightfully so. But now, 17 weeks later, this is a team that's playing better. They're more confident. They've had some key additions. And I think they, like Jimmy said, like this might be a game that gets out of control at a certain point. Like this might be old school Packers Bears hit towel era. You know,
What just makes
this
me
is going to
nervous.
be a good one.
It's like just adding in the PTSD we have of just every mobile quarterback just kicking our ass, and then adding to the fact that Justin Fields there. And like honestly, I feel like Justin Fields is their Joe Barry to the point where like the last few years they've just been like, let's get rid of him. And then just at the end of the year, they're like, well, maybe we give him another chance. I'm so excited for this game. I'm nervous for this game. I'm going to keep a bucket next to me for puke because I'll be anxious as all hell. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Also, whoever Corey put Charles Martin in the chat. My dad, that is the one Packer jersey he owns, and he wanted that jersey specifically for his illegal hit on the Bears quarterback.
I mean, Todd brought up the point. Like, I think I feel the same way. If this was a game like winning, you're in against, I don't know, the Falcons or something,
the Rams,
the Cardinals, where it's like, okay, if we don't win, whatever. Okay. But this is the Bears. Like, this is the opportunity for Bears fans for the rest of the offseason to say, no matter what happened this year, we kept your asses home from the playoffs. And it doesn't matter about the ownership or anything. This is the only game that matters now for them. And I don't know if I'm going to, like, I think it was it Schneidman or was it Bukowski said that I think Packers Twitter needs this win more than the actual Packers do. Because it might get ugly. Was it Schneidman? Yeah, it might get ugly on Twitter if they lose.
And just I feel like
I will be off of Twitter for several weeks if that happens.
I might deactivate.
It's gonna be hell. I don't know. It's just like the perfect story too. Just Jordan Love comes in, does what Rodgers couldn't do last year.
Hold on, Dan. Are you drinking milk?
I thought it was leftover eggnog.
It is eggnog.
Okay.
Don't knock milk, man.
No, I wasn't. Just a very awkward drink.
No,
I don't know that I've ever just drank milk.
Ice, so I couldn't get a seal, and so it slurped a little bit into the microphone that I didn't want. It's some eggnog, vanilla vodka, and amaretto.
Okay,
yeah, yummy.
No. Very,
my
very
eggnog
well
goes
done. Sorry, it just threw me off. I thought you were just casually sipping a glass of milk.
No, what were we talking about?
I don't know, actually. I was trying to think too. I was like, what the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about the Packers.
Yes.
Oh, of course, the Packers. Yes,
yeah, they're the football team up in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. The perfect story. Love comes in, first-time starter, takes them to playoffs, something the former quarterback didn't do his first year. Wins that last game to get them in, something that didn't happen last season. And then I'm still just perfect story is beating the 49ers in the playoffs. Obviously, we have to get to the next round to do that. It would be fantastic, but that is my dream. I need Jordan Love to beat the 49ers in the playoffs in his career, and then I'm set, preferably this year.
What if he starts it by beating McCarthy?
I will say this. If they somehow miraculously make it to a playoff game against the 49ers and beat this 49ers team,
would you Tanya somebody?
Would I do it?
Yeah. Help him out a little bit. Find Christian McCaffrey?
No, I don't think I would. I think for legal reasons, I will not say that. I will do that on camera.
I also am out.
The point I was making, though, Jimmy, was that I would be comfortable with anything else happening after that for the rest, like this season. Like it could be a NFC championship end, like against the Falcons. What was that in 2017, 2016, where
When
they just got absolutely
shit kicked
embarrassed
out of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
0.5.
Had no business being in the NFC championship. I will take that. I will gladly take that outcome if it means beating the 49ers in some miraculous meetup.
I
Easily.
love it.
Perfect.
But we should probably focus on being the Bears.
I was going to say there is one trend that Matt LaFleur has going, and that is
losing to his buddies.
He's lost every year of his career an elimination game at Lambeau. This is the only elimination game that'll be at Lambeau this year.
Wait, say that again?
Every year, Matt has lost an elimination game at Lambeau.
Okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
And this will be the only
the Rams at Lambeau in the playoffs.
They beat them there, but then what happened the next week?
But that's technically an elimination. Oh, but every time we lost, yeah, I got you.
Every time that we've been eliminated, it's been at
yeah.
Lambeau.
I took it as like anytime there was a game where you were, yeah, I got it now.
I understand how you misheard what I said,
which technically what I thought was right. So before you talk shit, technically was right, just a little different.
Yep, you're still a moron.
Thank you.
You are technically correct, the best kind of correct, Jimmy. Do you guys want to jump into a buy around, pay the tab here about coming in out of this New Year's Eve game? How does it? Let me ask. I want to ask you guys specifically, and most of the chat, because I feel like a lot of the chat over in the central time zone with most of you guys there. Mine, the game ends 45 minutes before the ball drop. So the game ends and you're trying to enjoy post game, and it's like you got a half hour to flip over to any like pregame ball coverage before the ball, and you got to like get like planned for it.
I got some ball coverage for you. You should have just called me.
How does it work for you guys? Like that game ends and then you've got like over an hour plus before New Year's.
So I watched the game at my buddy's place about an hour away. I left there at halftime. As I got here, made a couple of pit stops on my way. Quick Trip and Domino's. Pulled up. The game was ending as I was unloading my vehicle. So then I just ate Domino's and crawled in bed and watched post game. I'm not a flip over and see coverage. I don't remember the last time I watched a New Year's Eve ball drop.
Unless the world's ending, I'm not interested.
Okay.
But this one, I got to cover the game. So I was at US Bank Stadium. So then after the game, we did locker room. And then for New Year's, I was writing an article and then I drove home. So that was about it.
So were you sitting in US Bank Arena at midnight?
Yeah, I was in the press box.
Okay. Well, that was an incredibly
100% of brag. I'm not gonna cover that one up.
Incredibly unfruitful line of questioning.
Dude, I'm 30 with 3 kids. New Year's Eve is just, if I can make it past 10, usually I'm happy. This year I was mad I was up so late.
All right. Well, anyway,
what do you want me to say? We did copious amount of drugs and partied.
No, I'm just curious because I was with family. We had less than basically a little over a half hour before the ball dropped. So we're all together. We're all already fairly intoxicated. We're playing music, trying to get ready, and by the time it's like, oh shit, it's 5 minutes till the new year and everyone's got to get shit together. And I don't know. Yeah, I was just trying to see how everybody celebrates the
I appreciate it.
Fuck me, I guess.
Can I hit on this one though? Because I did text Todd after this. I told him before the game how I wasn't going to make it till halftime. I'm pretty sure, Todd, you said that first.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it past the first play. I caught myself saying, Jaden Reed, because he was wide open in the middle of the field. So it literally took me one play, one offensive snap, and I already broke the don't cheer. I did it a couple more times that game, but it just got quieter and quieter each time.
Is this sorry, Jimmy? I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but was this the first time you were at the stadium covering a game this year, or have you been to others before?
No, this is my first time ever. So not just this year.
First one ever in a press box. Okay, so
Yep.
This is the first time experiencing the no celebrating in the
Yeah.
press box rule.
Yeah.
How would you grade yourself overall? How would you handle it?
Well, seeing as I messed up already on the first snap, I would say not great. I would say I give myself a C+. If I had people by me that cared, I would say an F. But I was with people that just were talking and not really paying attention. So I don't think they really noticed me going like, oh. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I got an immediate text from Jimmy that said Reed was wide open on the first play of the game. Love threw it too late and inside. And I said, yes.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't know if they showed how open he was at the start. I caught myself saying he's open. Then on the third down stop, a little cheer came out.
Yep.
And I said,
yeah, it was the first.
You're not going to make it till half.
Yeah, no, it was not great. It wasn't great.
Did you get like dirty looks? Like any?
No, because I was one of shout out Ross Uglum. He emailed a day late, so I was the last one to get my credentials. So I was the last seat on the end. So I had no one to my right, no one behind me, and just 3 people who weren't paying attention to my left. So like, I probably could have cheered and no one would have said anything, but yeah, it was fun though.
It's interesting. I've gotten to do it a couple times for other things, but yeah, it's cool. How about we jump into buy a round?
Let's do it.
Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and buy us a round?
Yeah, I'm going with it's kind of been a theme of the whole year. Specifically this game, 2 players kind of stand out the most, but I did next man up for the buy round, and that's Bo Melton coming in as a wide receiver again with injuries, and then also Corey Ballantyne finding out on Saturday that he's going to be starting against arguably, at least for sure, top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, and he fucking killed it. His first career interception, he had a pass defense and single coverage in the first quarter. I think he had a total of 3 pass breakups that entire game. Bo Melton, obviously we know the game he had 105 yards, first wide receiver to break 100 yards this season. So it's been a next man up mentality all season. And it's not like unique to the Packers. Literally every team has to have next man up after somebody goes out. But I feel like we've for a year of evaluation, we've had a lot of chances for players to kind of step up and show what they have to be long-term part of the team. And Bo Melton, as we already saw, took Samori Touré's spot because of his performance this past game. So there's been a lot of good things from the young guys, and I don't know. The team has me super excited for the future. This year, obviously still not a Super Bowl year, but I'm very optimistic for the next few years.
Yeah, this offense, when it gets fully healthy and can stay healthy, is scary. Like it's a scary offense. If you add in Musgrave to what's going on right now, if Christian Watson can stay, 75% healthy and everyone else keeps progressing, yeah, this offense is going to do numbers, man. Like it's been really fun to watch them this year.
Hasn't a no game all season. We're going to week 18, and this might be the first game that he has every single weapon, from tight end to running back to wide receiver. It took 18 weeks, and it's still a maybe that we have every skill position.
Yeah, it's cracking me up.
I think is the only one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're really kind of concerned about.
Or is Wicks. Watson?
Watson said he's anticipating to play.
Well, we know with this training staff, you can anticipate whatever you want to, but
they're going to cut his hamstring tomorrow.
He might get suspended. We don't know. Yeah, no, that's wild. I'm really loving the mock drafts that are coming through with like Keon Coleman in the second. Like, what I love it, is this team, like, look at what they have right now. They're not going with a pass catcher in the first 3 rounds. Like, unless Marvin Harrison Jr. is still there when they pick at 32 because they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like,
obviously.
I said if they're gonna make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, otherwise don't do it.
But just like to go on your mock drafting, just the evolution of it this year too. Like the start of the season, we had fucking JJ McCarthy, and like getting mocked to us. Some people early enough is like pick 10, other people in the second round. To now that we're not even taking an offensive player until like one today. I saw it was all pretty much defense. Like it's just crazy how, which obviously makes sense. Like week 1 to week 18. Like it's going to change, but just fans of going from like, oh, Jordan Love's not the guy to.
Well, and it goes back to like the fact, like how stark the difference is between draft season and the actual fucking football that happens on the field. Because in the draft, everyone's like, oh, the Packers didn't go and get a first round wide receiver. There's no first round pass catchers. They let Jackson Smith and Jigba pass for Lucas Van Ness. Look who just broke the all-time rookie receiving record for this team. It wasn't a first rounder. It was Jaden Reed, who I will buy a round for. I'll just throw that up right now. I'm buying a round for Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, a guy he was a third round pick, right? He was the second round pick. He was the other second round pick. That's why the draft, like when you think about the draft, it's like everyone's so upset that they invest so much capital in the first round and defense and everything. And it's like, it's fine, guys. Like it'll all work out. Sometimes there's misses, sometimes there's hits. We tend to hit a lot on big offensive threats in later rounds, and it's fine. Doesn't matter where you're drafted. And Jaden Reed is the perfect example of that. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this team. He just reminds me so much of watching Davante Adams, and he's a rookie. I would just anticipate like this only either plateaus or gets better. And if this is the ceiling, this is a pretty good ceiling for a second round wide receiver. I think it's just going to keep growing. So hats off to Jaden Reed for doing what he did. And the guy's just a baller, man. He had that chest injury, and he's trying to come back in and play in the second part of the game. Like, I love that. I just love it.
Well, the reason he was doing that, Dan, is because he heard you last week on this show when you broke the news that the Packers hadn't had a 100-yard receiver yet this year, and he was so close in the first half. He was like, if what Dan said is true, I got to get back out there.
It wasn't a 100-yard receiver, just receiver. It was receiver and rushing. Dan broke that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we had both of those in this past game. When's the last time that's happened? Matt, look that up. I should have done that before, but yeah, Katie mentioned that sideline.
Up, please.
Yeah,
Matt,
Dick.
Please.
It's not Nick back there. We got to be nice to him.
I saw Good Morning Football talked about that clip, and it's like he had, I think it was Bo Melton open or I think it was Tucker Kraft on the flat, like 10 yards in front. That was also open. Jordan decided that was the play, was a tougher, more difficult catch and throw, and they pulled it off beautifully. I mean, no notes, 10 out of 10. Nailed it. It's clear he trusts Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed has cemented himself as a primary target in this offense, and it's like who becomes the number one threat on this team now when they're fully healthy?
I think it's better
Christian
you just
Watson,
don't have
Jaden
one.
Reed, Lucas Musgrave, Tucker Kraft. Like, who is the standout? Who's the stud? This isn't Davante Adams playing with Jared Abbrederis and fucking Jake Kumro. Like, this is guys that are all solid players. It's fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah, to hit on Reed too with it trying to come back with a chest injury. Like, these rookies are fucking tough, because even the other second round pick, Luke Musgrave, came back in the game with a kidney laceration.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if anything, we can't the whole like, oh, the Packers are soft. I think like some of these young guys are showing like, no, the fuck they're not. Like, they're coming through and fighting through these injuries that probably some players would be out for that game, the next game. Like, to come back in and try to fight through it is impressive. And even Reed practicing today is just insane. Like you would think they'd give him that treatment of like, hey, take a couple of days off and just make sure you're ready for Sunday. But him coming back already it's cool.
Yeah. Todd, who would you like to buy around for?
I'm gonna go Bears fans for not buying enough tickets from the Bears. And now the Packers have a limited number of tickets available because the Bears had to return them. So shout out to Bears fans for not buying tickets to this game because there's so much more to do in Chicago than to go to Green Bay for a football game.
Okay, did he actually say that?
Yeah, that there's nothing else to do in Green Bay.
I saw it aggregated on like other websites, so I didn't know if that was like an actual quote.
Like that fake quote from
right.
St. Brown or whatever.
Yeah, no, there was video with it.
Well, AI nowadays.
Well, yeah, it could have been a deep fake.
Think about it.
Here's the thing. He's not wrong. Yeah. Green Bay lives and dies with the Packers. Like you ask any business there, they make their money the 10 or so weeks a year that there's a home game, preseason included. That's how that city survives. And like I do the thing every fall where I'm like, I should buy a house in Green Bay. I should move up here. And then I tell myself, let's see if we still feel that way in March. And in March, it's cold and there's no football in Green Bay. And I go, I don't even want to visit there to look at a house, let alone live there right now. So is he wrong? No. But I mean, nice try at taking a shot.
That's the thing is like, it didn't even seem like it didn't seem offensive. Like, I know he probably meant it as a shot, but it was just kind of like, yeah, that's just
the laugh from their press corps too. Like, okay.
Oh, Justin.
I hate that you both stopped at the same time. I feel like you guys coordinated that. It was good.
No, I think Justin Fields is upset that he's getting overshadowed by Connor Bedard in his own city. That's the thing, Justin.
Hockey, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I thought that was their backup quarterback from earlier this year.
And the thing is, I want to tread lightly here. Because hold on.
Sorry, the Nog's coming back. What was the expiration on that Nog?
It's actually from 2020, peak COVID.
Justin Fields played college football in Columbus, and I understand that the Blue Jackets are there and the Crew have a big following there, but like Columbus, Ohio is Ohio State football, like by a mile. So to like rip on a city that has basically built its whole culture and economy around a football team seems kind of hypocritical for a person like Justin Fields, who basically was king of a city for 3 years because that's what Columbus is with the Buckeyes. So that's my insider Buckeye opinion on that.
Thank you. We're curious what your opinion was on this.
Sure. Todd, who do you need to pay the tab this week?
Bears fans. Yeah.
What a twist.
Just, I guess if I didn't realize they've never had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns. That's not a high benchmark. Like that's just the standard, like get there. They've never had that or a quarterback throw for more than 3,850 yards. Like, again, that's a little bit more out there than the 30 touchdowns, but like if that were the case for the team that I was a franchise for, I would simply never talk about any other team's quarterback ever. Like to sit there and say, this guy's not any good because he's never played. Like what they were saying about Jordan Love coming into the year, even there's some of them still talking saying that Jordan Love's not any good.
Mm-hmm.
Have somebody throw for 30 touchdowns. Until then, as far as I'm concerned, you've never had a quarterback in your team's history. Like, no one's ever played quarterback for the Chicago Bears because no one's ever thrown for 30 touchdown passes. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Shut the fuck up about the quarterback position until you get to that mark.
And even to add to that, like right now, realistically, where would you put Jordan Love? Like ranking top 10, top 15, like
In the
right
league, in the league this season?
in the league. Like, where's Jordan Love?
He's a top 10.
Top 10?
I think you could easily say a top 10, especially with as many injuries as there have been to like starters. He's easily top 10. But I think even among a lot of those starters that like got injured, I think he's easily top 15, and you could make a case top 10 with original starters in there. Yeah.
So like, even if you go like 10th overall this season, and like Todd's saying, like Bears fans are saying about Love, some of them going out there just like, oh, he's a mediocre quarterback. It would be great for the Packers to be stuck with a mediocre quarterback. If Love is a mediocre quarterback, they haven't. So every quarterback in their franchise history has been absolute dog shit.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
Like exactly what Todd's saying. Like then I would never bring up, like talk about any other position on the team. Like go at linebacker. You have Brian Urlacher. Like have fun with
anything
that.
on defense. Don't talk about offense because
Yeah. Unless it's Devin Hester, or I guess
their receiving records aren't great. They had a guy in the mid 80s that was pretty good for a while. Sure, you've got a top 5 running back all time. Good job.
Just focus on what you have. Don't just like
and
it's
just
like not ending well.
I was scouring Pro Football Reference to see like, okay, like what, like does like, how does this season for Jordan Love rank against like every other team? Because like if he beats the Bears, great. Is he like, how does that compare to any other? I'm like, I bet there's like one other team like he could get close to like being like, oh, this is the best season, or it's, you know, second. No, like every other franchise, every other one, even the ones that have been created post 1990 have quarterbacks with better seasons than what Jordan Love is having right now, which means they have also had better seasons than the entire 104-year lifespan of the Chicago Bears. That's how bad it is.
This isn't a team that is an expansion team that just popped up like 5 years ago.
It's not the Texans.
Have to like roll out David Carr for their first 15 years. Like, no, this is a team that has a Super Bowl championship.
How pissed do you think they get looking at like Brett Favre and being like, he was high on pain pills half the time and he's still better than any quarterback we ever had? Just like his lowest season, they're probably like, God damn it, guys.
Yeah, there's no other way around. It's fucking embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if I was a Bears fan. Big time.
Yeah.
I'll jump to my pay the tab here real quick because it's pretty simple. Rich Bisaccia, what the hell are you doing throwing Samori Toure in at punt returner in the middle of a game like that? It basically it was the only offensive opening for the Vikings, and it came on one stupid decision. Why is like, haven't they been rotating Keshawn Nixon at punt returner at times?
I thought after his
except when he fumbled that one.
He stopped after that, yeah.
And they haven't had him back there since. Which, I mean, holding guys accountable, and here you have a guy that is off the team. Like, Samori Toure is never playing for the Packers again.
No.
But the thing is, I don't know, though, because if they didn't want him on, why would they put him on IR and just saying, like, hey, see you, dude? Like, what's the point of putting him on IR then? They're going to have him back for training camp, at least.
He's not going to be back.
He
He might make the practice squad, sure.
Well, yeah.
But there's going to be another rookie that comes in. There's going to be something else that takes his place.
I guess though at this point though with Toure, I guess I don't understand why they didn't just cut him, because like Amari Rodgers, a 3rd round pick, a bigger investment than Toure, was cut because of these same issues. Wasn't valuable on offense, fumbled on punt return, and then he gets released.
So I don't know that the Packers have resigned to the fact that he's never playing for them again. I mean, they watch him every day in practice, and there's a good chance that they say if he takes a big step forward this offseason, like you're not going to cut a guy at this point if he's under control. You're going to bring him into camp and see what's there. And if he takes a big step, then sure. And if not, then you go, all right, well, we're going to cut him during training camp.
But isn't this his 4th season? Like, isn't he coming into this? Will be his 4th season next year, right?
3rd.
This
year's his 2nd year.
2nd?
Yeah, he came in with Dobbs and Watson.
Jesus Christ. Okay, got it. Just feels like he's been around longer. But I mean, I don't know. With the talent that they have ahead of him, and he's getting beaten out by Bo Melton.
Don't say Bo Melton like that. He just had 105 yards.
I get
Dan.
it.
The first.
After you broke the news last week, Bo Melton comes out and
it's 2 good weeks in a row.
Jimmy, didn't you say you heard him in the locker room after the game saying I did this for Dan Kotnick?
He looked directly at me, made eye contact, and said, "Tell Dan this is for him." And I was like, "For sure." And I said, "Which Dan?" And he specifically said, "Dan Kotnick." And then Carl Brooks yelled, "Fangs up!" Whatever the fuck you guys say.
Talons up.
Talons up.
Thanks.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Fangs up, go Preds.
That's it. You were the one who said fangs up. Okay.
Yeah, big hockey guy.
Yeah, I knew somebody did.
But no, that's not a slight against Bo Melton. But when a rookie wide receiver from Rutgers is Matt, my dude, I knew you would get it. A rookie wide receiver from the powerhouse that is Rutgers is coming in here and showing you up. Like there's no, I just don't see a place for him. I would much rather have that go to a cornerback or a linebacker, places that we clearly need more depth at. I don't know. Jimmy, who would you like to have pay the tab this week?
Yeah, I'm curveballing it. Sorry, Matt, if you didn't see my message. I'm actually going to go the Pro Bowl voting. Matt Schneidman, I'm going to make sure I have the tweet up so I can read it exactly because you guys know my reading comprehension.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't prepare and have this up.
I did when I went back to Twitter.
Yo, there are kids watching. Check yourself.
When I went back to Twitter, it refreshed on its own. What a boob. All right, so there's 4. So the Packers don't have any actual Pro Bowlers. We have some reserves, but there's 4 teams in the NFL without a Pro Bowler: the Panthers, the Commanders, the Patriots, and the Packers. 3 of which have the top 3 picks in the NFL, and the other one could potentially make the playoffs on Sunday. Like that doesn't. Kenny Clark has had arguably his best season in his career. He's been a Pro Bowler 2 times before. Jair being a reserve, ridiculous. He should not be on there. He barely played this year. I love him. That just shows the Pro Bowl voting's fucking stupid. Jordan Love, arguably too. Like, I get it. His first year starting, but still his touchdown numbers, his yards, he's produced enough compared to other quarterbacks that he should be in there. I don't get it. Even like Jaden Reed. There's some players that just should be on there. My biggest 2 though, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. Besides that, the other ones are just kind of bullshit, me being biased, but those 2 should at least make the Pro Bowl. And I just don't get how they aren't.
Well, I mean, I will say,
and Nixon, sorry.
Look at the wide receivers that were put in: CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Puka Nacua. Who do you put who do you put Jaden Reed in above those 2?
Anyone, because he was one of my bias votes. But yeah, no, you make a good point. None of them. So Jaden Reed, like that makes sense. Wide receiver does. Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark are my 2 and Nixon, as Katie put in the chat. Not for defense, obviously, but for return, because he hasn't had like the big moments, but
do they still do the like rookie challenges and stuff like that? I mean, if they do, Jaden Reed's in for that. Like, not that it matters. This team's going to be playing in the Super Bowl anyways. So
yeah, good point. They'd all back out.
Yeah.
And that, you know what, HE here, I think nails it, because it just really goes back to what the Pro Bowl is. And it's a popularity contest. Like, it's the names. It's the people that have the big name, that have the big following, that the name recognition. A team with a bunch of first year, second year guys might be showing out, but they're not going to get a whole lot of attention. And then I think Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary are not helped by the fact that most of that defense is not very good and get overshadowed by the fact that this defense loses more games than it probably wins. So not that they aren't deserving, but
all right, fuck it. I'll tell them all. I'm gonna message each one and say like, hey, Dan Kottnick said none of you deserve a fucking Pro Bowl.
I'm not saying they didn't deserve
I heard.
You heard it too, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna clip it.
Clip it. Jimmy, you had a runner up that I'm curious who your other pay the tab was going to be.
Oh yeah, the U.S. Bank staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about this.
Okay, that one was because I got a memo. This is where I was going to put in the brag that I was at the Viking Stadium. So I got a memo that said they're going to provide snacks. And so on my way to the game, I thought, I'm a hungry boy.
You're a growing boy.
I'm a growing boy. I'm going to eat before I go. So I stopped at Quick Trip. I told you this part yesterday, Todd, and I left out one so you didn't think I was just a fucking glutton. I got 2 brats and I also got a bag of the Gardetto rye chips.
Oh, you told me you got 3 brats yesterday.
Oh, I got 2. I
Okay.
said 2. I didn't get 3. Did I say 3?
You said 3 because I was like, damn.
Oh, I lied to you. I got 2. And then the bag of Gardetto chips. And I was like, this should be good. I'll get snacks. They had a whole fucking beautiful buffet. And they did not tell me. And if I would have known that, I would have gotten my money's worth. But I only got 1 plate full for at the start of the game, halftime and end. But I would have got multiple if this was like
you just set up shop at the buffet.
I wouldn't even watch the fucking game. That's the thing. I got there, I saw like Salisbury steak, or I was like, this is not a snack. And then so anyways, I was kind of upset because they would have lost tons of money if they would have said like, hey, we're gonna have a full buffet for you guys. It would have been hideous.
It's the press box. Like they always have.
Let me rewind to earlier in the show where you said, hey, Jimmy, is this your first time covering the Packers? And I said, or this season? And I said, no, it's my first time covering a team ever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was on that spread? Walk us through it.
Oh my gosh. You guys got 20 minutes?
Yep.
Salisbury steak, I think. It was delicious. Grilled asparagus, not hash browns, mashed potatoes. And then they had chocolate raspberry cheesecake, some type of salad. Obviously, I didn't get that. They had a roller thing with brats on it. They had a popcorn machine, and then they had a candy bar. That was for pregame. At halftime, they had barbecue pulled pork, sweet and sour pulled pork, garlic Parmesan chicken wings, that same cheesecake. They added like another giant cake, and then they had an ice cream section that was vanilla or Rocky Road. I know what you're wondering. What did Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst take? Rocky Road. Then they've added more candy. They didn't have Skittles or Reese's, which I thought was bullshit. After the game, they had pizza boxes. They had a couple bullshit ones. I saw chicken bacon. I grabbed it. It had ranch dressing as a sauce. Not a fan. Still ate it. And then I got a normal sausage. That's the food breakdown.
I like it.
Yeah, I talked to Des more about the buffet than I did the actual game. It was my favorite part.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm sorry that you ate before the game because
it's 100% on me. I just refuse to take blame.
To just miss out on being able to take full advantage of a spread like that is
right.
Like there's nothing worse than showing up to something full, not realizing that there is an entire buffet provided, and you're just like, okay, now I'm just going to look like a respectable human being eating here instead of just going full tilt into this thing.
Yeah, it would have. And I got this nice button-up shirt from Goodwill, and it was one size too big. And I wear it on occasions where I think, who knows what's going to happen later? Maybe after the game, I'll stop somewhere, get some nice food. And I wasted that shirt on fucking Quick Trip. I could have filled up my belly on the buffet. No one would have known.
More importantly, you missed an opportunity to line your pockets with Ziploc bags and fill them full of mashed potatoes.
Are you saying that the shirt is big because, like, to make room?
Yeah, my pants are always
Or-
big. It's the shirt I worry about. Sometimes I wear tight shirts sometimes.
Are you Joey Chestnut? Like, what?
You never know what's gonna happen, dude. If I get a food I like, I will gorge until I feel sick on the way home. I'm like a dog that you need to feed the exact amount to and take all food away.
Get Jimmy one of those
Yeah,
those dog bowls. It's like the maze or whatever to slow him down.
exactly.
Aiden Hutchinson was voted as a Pro Bowler, and he has basically the same stat line as Rashawn Gary. So there's no excuse for Rashawn Gary not to be in the Pro Bowl over Aiden Hutchinson, except for the fact that Aiden Hutchinson was on Hard Knocks last year and did the Michael Jackson dance, so everyone thinks he's cute.
True. A Hard Knocks question. If the Packers make the playoffs, they are eliminated from Hard Knocks. Correct.
Preseason
Is that a
edition,
question?
I believe.
Is that a question?
Yes. Sorry.
I don't know. I've never
That's why I
watched
tried it. That's why I
Like
added
a
the
statement.
correct because I did not do any inflection on the other part. So
I think so. I read a tweet from Monty. That's a trusted source.
Yeah, I trust it.
And from what I was able to gather, they're eliminated from the preseason.
Okay, but they do in season.
But I've never watched Hard Knocks, so I don't know. I didn't realize
It's good
they did it in season Hard Knocks.
until Mike McDaniel.
I still haven't watched. Somebody told me that they were doing it this year.
They
Cool.
started 3 years. It was Colts the Colts were the first team ever to do it. Cardinals last year, Mike McDaniel, and the Dolphins this year.
So, yes, to be on the preseason Hard Knocks, you are ineligible for preseason Hard Knocks if you have a new head coach, you've been on in the past 10 years, or you've been in the playoffs in any of the prior 2 seasons. So if they do not make the playoffs this year, they will be eligible.
They changed that 10-year thing because the Rams were there the year they moved to LA under Jeff Fisher. And then they were there again with the Chargers under Sean McVay.
This article was published in November 2023.
Well, tell them they're full of shit because that's not what happened 3 years ago. Can you comment for me after the show?
I'm just
Thanks, man. Keep it up. Keep the tab
telling
open.
you. I'm just telling you what it is. Now they are eligible regardless for the in-season Hard Knocks because the playoff one is the only one that doesn't apply to that. So they could be on the playoff or the in-season Hard Knocks.
Perfect.
So, also, one of the things in this article definitely talks about if you are a team and you take the Broncos lightly, you can't be on Hard Knocks. And that's why the Packers could be, because you can't take the Broncos lightly.
Take the Broncos lightly.
You can't do it.
You know who quarterback now? Trevor Siemian.
Yeah. Even with
Is it
him.
Trevor Siemian now?
Yeah.
What
I don't
happened to Stidham or
That's who I meant. The other guy might be on a different team.
Well, no.
Either way,
no.
can't
I
take
think
him
Trevor
lightly.
Siemian is still a Denver Bronco. I just don't.
I don't think he is because I think he started somewhere else.
Yeah, he's a Jet. It's a backup quarterback with a S, and that threw me off.
Well, but I mean, Stidham did win the game.
No, Russell Wilson won 6, so fuck off, Stidham.
All right, let's jump into some bar bets here for this this Bears game, guys.
I know I said this before, but this is one of the last times I can say it this year. I really love that has just become a segment of its own. Is Bronco talk for 30 seconds, and then we immediately move on. It legit is.
It will probably continue into next season. I anticipate this being a running gag for the extent of Lombardi's bar.
Perfect.
I will make this my mission.
It's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. I will never take the Broncos lightly.
Take the Broncos
Right
in
next
my
to
life.
mashed potato Mike on the other butt cheek is going to be, don't take those Broncos lightly.
Can't take them lightly.
I mean, they did it in Super Bowl 32, and look what happened.
Yeah. And ever since, we lost them this year.
Bar bets for this week against the Bears. Will the Chicago Bears have a rushing touchdown scored by a quarterback and a running back? Are we going to see a Justin Fields rushing touchdown as well as I won't say running back. I'll say any other position, wide receiver, jet screen, something like that. Will we see?
Is this a trick question? Because Justin Fields is a running back. And as we've previously discussed, they've never had a quarterback on the Chicago Bears.
Boom.
5 Bakhtiaris, no.
All right. Jimmy?
I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris, yes. I think Justin Fields gets one because that's our kryptonite, and I think our defense sucks enough that we'll bite on a RPO and he'll hit a receiver.
Yeah, I am still very much down on this team. I'm down on this team in this situation.
Hold on.
Just because
Jimmy, it's still a rushing touchdown.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, it was like an RPO and hitting a receiver. What the hell are you talking about?
Run pass option. He could hand it off, and I'll forget I said the other part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go yes. Yes. Great catch, Todd. Great catch.
I will also say yes. Because I just have too much PTSD from last year. I don't want to fall into this trap again of beating the Vikings handily in Minnesota on New Year's. Everyone's feeling good, and you're back at home, and it just feels too similar to what we had to see last year. And until I see that clock at Lambeau hit double zeros, I will not feel good about this game. So I will say yes, they do. I'll go 5 Bakhtiaris as well. Will the Packers offense crack 28 points? They've done it the last 2 games and did it the first time they played the Chicago Bears. Will we see it against a somewhat improved Chicago Bears defense, Jimmy?
I'm going to go yes. Like you said, we did it week 1. Both teams have improved. So I'm going to say that's fucking null and void. And we'll still put up 30 plus because the Bears suck. And I'm going to act really confident right now, even though I'm terrified on the insides. So I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris. Yes.
I was feeling that same confidence of a yes. And then I realized how much I've ebbed and flowed on my bets with this team's prior week performance. And it feels like every week they lose, and it's absolutely like just they're not going to do anything right. And I'm trying not to do that. But 5 Bakhtiaris, yes. They're going to have the full complement, should have the full complement of players out there. We've seen what they've been doing without that full complement. We saw how good this offense looked against the Lions and the Chiefs with Watson in there. Getting him back, I don't think slows anybody down at this point. So, 5 Bakhtiaris, absolutely.
I will say something I'm literally just looking up right now. Since week 8, only 2 teams have put up over 28 points on the Bears defense. What? What?
Nothing. No. Keep going. You're fine.
What?
You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything.
Jimmy and I had a moment. It's fine. We'll tell you about it when you're older.
Let's see. Timestamp 53 minutes. I'll go back and look at that on YouTube. Can't wait.
It's nothing you're gonna.
Okay. I still lean towards Jimmy. Jesus fucking
Jimmy,
Christ.
I didn't do it. I'm looking at you. Why, Jimmy? I stopped.
No, I was referencing you in my comment.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry. I thought
I can't get over
sorry.
Todd dissing
PTSD
himself.
came. I thought I was getting scolded. I got defensive, and I'm sorry.
And you immediately just narked on me.
Yeah, oh,
What
yeah.
a bitch. What I do? Look at Todd.
I went back to grade school. He's talking too.
Part of me does worry that when Christian Watson has played at times, Jordan Love or Matt LaFleur, whoever, the offense seems to try to force things to him at times, and it's kind of come at the expense of the productivity of this offense. But I do think even with Montez Sweat as the addition and this defense playing a little bit better, this offensive line has played pretty damn well against some tough pass rush the last several weeks. And so I think with that said, the offense will continue to hum and at least get 28 points. I think it will be a bit closer and a bit more of a shootout. I think it's going to be ugly. But I'll say 5 Bakhtiaris. Yes, they will. Here's an interesting one. Will the Packers gain a playoff spot before the end of their game? It is technically possible for the Packers to have a playoff spot clinched while they are actually playing their game.
I feel like we can just.
Can you run me through those scenarios?
It's a
Vikings lose to the Lions.
Okay.
Which probably I would lean towards that happens.
Yep.
Lions are fighting for playoff positioning.
Are they though? Aren't they automatically 3 because the Cowboys beat them?
If the Lions win and the Cowboys and Eagles both lose, the Lions will take the 2 seed. So they do have something to play for.
What time is that game at?
That is 1:00 Eastern,
Okay.
12 p.m. Central.
Yep.
What's the weather at those games?
I believe it will be indoors.
Both of them.
At both places.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. The Seahawks need to lose. They are a 4:25 game. So that game could end before the Packers-Bears game, and then
could also end after.
It could also end after.
That's a curveball.
That's why that's
time's linear.
Mm-hmm.
Time's not real. It's a concept, honestly.
And the Bucks or Saints, one of those 2 teams has to lose in the 1:00.
Who do they play?
The Bucks play the Panthers and the Saints play the Falcons.
Both home? Both on the road?
I believe the Bucks are on the road and New Orleans is at home.
Interesting. 5 Bakhtiaris, no.
What is so fucking funny, Jimmy? What is so goddamn funny?
I wanted to ask questions, but I kept giggling. But Todd picked it up.
Dude, your internet's doing great. Keep it up. 5 Bakhtiaris, no. That's a lot of things that have to go in that right direction. I think just go win the damn game.
I'm with Todd.
Okay.
Same thing. 5 Bakhtiaris.
5? Okay. 1 Bakhtiari, yes.
Lame. Just do 5.
Coward.
Come on.
1 Bakhtiari, yes.
Do it for January 6th. It's in like 3 days, dude.
Fuck.
You and the boys getting riled up? You and the boys getting riled up? What's the plans? Are you guys going back there? Are you guys storming another cabin?
Saturday.
Dude, you are going to be so hungover on Sunday.
Or potentially in jail.
What do you guys have planned for 2024? And the Epstein list is coming out today?
You going to watch it from Pelosi's office?
Feet on the desk? You have the horns?
Are we done? Are we done? I don't know.
Give me a couple minutes. I might think of another one.
Okay.
Do another long outro. I got you.
Sure. Thank you to everyone that's been in the chat. Chat popping off again tonight. Thank you so much. Real quick, Tim, Happy New Year. Back to you. But thank you everyone that stopped by. It's always great to chat with all of you Packer fans in the chat on the show. If this is your first time here, Emma, right there. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media. at Game On WI. Make sure that you're subscribed on the YouTube channel to get notified every time that we go live on the channel across all of our shows on the platform. You can follow all three of us on social media. Jimmy and me's little bubbles here. Todd, if you're a single mom, he's already slid into your DM, so you know his Twitter handle.
I don't think you have to be single, honestly.
No,
Oh, hey, new year, new me. JK, LOL, what up?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna check Dez's phone tonight.
For producer Maddie P, I just twisted my mic. For producer Maddie P, back in behind the scenes running the board. For Jimmy, for Todd, and me bartender Dan saying cheers, everybody. And as always, go Pack Go.